Hello Gemini, here's a reading for you for 2020, for the whole year. As you can see, the cards are already laid out because I was doing this reading in my native language first, so I already know what's going on. I think this is the year of shift in your perception of who you are and what's your responsibility to the world. The first card shows how you appear this year, and you are shown as Two of Swords, which is usually the card of not being able to make decision, thinking thoroughly, also checking your feelings. This is Moon in Libra, so there is a need of balance here, especially balance in your emotions. But it's also about the two ways of thinking that may concur with each other, that may compete. You may not be sure which way to go. But the first thing I felt when I saw the card was the feeling of withdrawal. Perhaps you need to abstain from something you were dedicated to, that you were involved with. Because this is the way things turn, and this is the way of change. The major arcana that came together with this is the Wheel of Fortune. So there is a change going on, and perhaps you don't feel a part of it, perhaps you don't feel that you have anything to say about it, because the Wheel of Fortune shows change that is predictable, that may be planned, but generally is greater than you. It's like changing of seasons. You really cannot do much about it. After spring there comes summer, and it just happens whether you like it or not. So you may feel withdrawn from things, from processes, and this may be your own decision to withdraw, and sometimes the decision to withdraw is the best you can do. So there is this notion of doing without actually acting, just sitting and waiting what's going to happen, and thinking, well, I will see how things turn out. Perhaps it's time to wait, perhaps it's time to evaluate, and only then make a decision. But definitely there is a shift in who you are and how you see yourself. The main theme of the year is the Earth Keeper, who is someone definitely responsible for what's going on in the world, perhaps more in touch with not only the self, the ego, but also what's beyond ego. The essence of this card goes like that: just as you are involved in co-creating your world, you are also responsible for its well-being. The Earth Keepers are dedicated to do the stewardship of the earth and all life. They choose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace, and where the rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. So you go beyond your own particular interests here. The invitation. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement, and are ready to dream big, with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper, and reach out to a friend in need whom you may not have been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets, and feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream, and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. And the medicine? As you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So begin with the stewardship of your health. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are not good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. So be responsible for yourself and for your little yard, for your little garden. There is a saying in my language that I tend to my own little garden, and that's the best thing I can do. But there is this notion that whatever you do in your little garden, you also do to the world. You have a beautiful card, Pahamama, or Pachamama, I don't know how to spell it. That shows that there's something more profound to this tending to yourself, that it really encompasses all world, that everything we choose and everything we do to ourselves has greater repercussions in the world that probably we cannot even predict. So please, Gemini, keep that in mind. We may be in a period of our lives, of our evolution, that we don't really understand the changing potential, the changing factor of things we do. I listened to the lecture today where a guy was talking about ancient bacteria that contained chlorophyll. I can't remember the name of them exactly, but those were those proto-organisms a few trillion years ago, living on Earth, where there was no oxygen in the atmosphere, in the oceans, in the Earth itself. And what they did, they were taking this carbon dioxide that the atmosphere was full of, and they started to transform it into oxygen. They started to use the carbon and release oxygen. And this started the great change in the biosphere of the Earth that created all living beings that we know now. And those the remnants of those bacteria are still present in all plants. These are chlorophylls in all plants that still transform CO2 into water and into carbon, into the building blocks of their own, and into oxygen. So this really shows that we are all connected, that every in-breath we take is the out-breath of all plants on the earth, and vice versa. All the out-breath, when we breathe out, we produce the breath for plants. So think in a wider way, not only about you. It's not only about you anymore. This year, in a quick look, we have Adelita of Fire, which is Knight of Wands, 10 of Earth, which is 10 of Pentacles, Adelita of Earth, which is Knight of Pentacles. So you have two knights, which creates this notion of movement and change. And we also have 9 of Fire. So we have 10 and the 9, and we have the world here, which indicates the Wheel of Fortune, which shows that there is an ending of a cycle in your life this year, most definitely. And there is this shift between those two pairs of cards that are quite similar in a way, because we have fire and earth and fire, but are also very different in the way they proceed, in the way they act. First we have this Adelita of Fire, which is a very fiery movement, Knight of Wands is someone who really pursues passion and pleasure. And he doesn't really have a clear path ahead of him. He's rather jumping from place to place. And in the process of this jumping, I think you find something of great worth on your path. Perhaps you realize your heritage. Perhaps you realize how wealthy you are, how abundant the world around is. And I think you turn into someone more responsible for it, because you decide to do something with this. We have this beautiful juncture here, joined from 10 of Earth to Adelita of Earth. So the understanding of what you have and what's your heritage and how precious it is makes you slow down and really ponder about things. And I think you try to understand how to preserve it, how to use it in a responsible and recyclable way. You start to think more about sustainability of your environment, and you do it with great dedication. This pair of cards, Knight of Pentacles and Nine of Wands, is really unbreakable. This is a very stubborn, loyal energy of someone who may be very tired but still is doing his job. And that's you towards the end of the year. There's a shift from this joyous jumping guy to a more profound, more planned behavior of Knight of Pentacles. And you are very, very dedicated to it, I think. Definitely, this energy is, I think, very potent and very creative. But if it is to last longer, you will need some more feelings in it. You will need a connection to water, because otherwise this will turn dry. Fire and earth creates desert, so you need more water in this. That's the general feeling that I have here, and perhaps you will find the source of it. Let's focus on another position. This is the most important lesson of the year, and we have Five of Wands. So there is value in conflict. There is value in stating your own right, and being heard, voicing your opinions. There is something important about it. Perhaps that's what changes the world, because the other card is the Wheel of Fortune. In order to change, in order to have influence, you need to voice whatever is going on in your head, whatever you want. You need to really put it in front of you and show it to others, even if they don't support you, even if they have their own agendas, and even if you need to oppose someone, even if you need to put yourself in conflict sometimes. It's not a life or death fight here. It's rather a competition. And the competition is needed in order to change something in your life. That's what you learn this year. What's the challenge? The challenge is Knight of Cups. So we have this water element as a challenge here. How to maintain, in whatever you're doing with great passion here, how to maintain loving attitude, how to be loving to other people, more understanding, how to maintain this feeling of respect towards others, even if they are so very different than I am. Nine of Swords came along with this. So, you know, this conflict, this competition that is needed in order to change something, it may create anxiousness. It may make you anxious. It may make you feel not very well. It also produces a lot of tension in your mind. That's why perhaps this is so difficult to still be open-hearted towards others. What to do with it? Again, the world. Remember that it's not only about you. It's much more broad than you yourself and your ego. Think about the wider repercussions of whatever you're doing. Perhaps then it's going to be easier to maintain this loving, grateful attitude towards others and to keep your heart open towards other people. Okay? Which is not impossible because your strength is 6 of Cups, and 6 of Cups is a beautiful, harmonious card of being able to see tiny little things as very precious in your life. It's about everyday little steps and little gestures we can make towards others to make life more bearable, to make life beautiful. There may be some things from the past that make you stronger this year. Something in your childhood that is very precious. Perhaps the children themselves are supporting you. But most of all, I think about this ability to see every day as a gift. That's 6 of Cups for me. We also have Page of Cups, which is also a child. So whether it is external and has a form of child or children around you that support you and that influence you in a positive way, or whether it's internal and it's your own childhood or inner child, it really doesn't matter. But remember that this childness, this attitude full of gratitude and being innocent and believing and trusting is what makes you strong this year. It may feel as a paradox, but that's the truth. What you should do. What should you do? We have Justice, which is a very serious card about making decisions, maybe even in the court, maybe even in light of law. You need to end something, be cut out of something, and create new balance in your life. And this is very serious, whether it's in the court or not. It creates great ripples in your life and will influence the future. On the other side of the spectrum, we have 7 of Pentacles. That's what you shouldn't do. That's not. This is not advice for you. So don't wait. God knows how long for something. There is a time to make a decision, which may be difficult with this attitude that you have of waiting and being not sure what to do. But perhaps the decision means that you need to withdraw from something. Then it's going to be easier. Nevertheless, don't wait forever for something, because things, there's a feeling I have, things won't change without your permission. Things won't change without your active action towards change. You need to be part of change if you want to see it in your world. Don't wait forever for something. Okay. Now, seasons of the year. Generally, I think it's going to be a very good year for you as far as your material life is concerned. We have this 10 of Earth and Adelita of Earth, and we also have lots of Earth here in seasons of the year. So that's good news, definitely. First of all, we have winter. In winter, you have High Priestess. So Intuition may be very good in winter. Trust in it. You may know many things without thinking. Something goes without saying. You already know, especially if we look at people, relationships, your friends, your acquaintances, and all kinds of communities that you live in, that you are a part of. You're going to be very, very intuitive about it, and perhaps you will know some mystery may be revealed. Generally, it means that you should share with your friends, with those you love, about all kinds of insights that you have, because it's going to create greater benefit for all of you. In spring, you have Knight of Discs, which is the fiery part of Earth, and actually in this deck is rather like a King of Discs, so King of Pentacles. So you're very, very abundant, and you are responsible for this abundance. That's what I was saying here. It is present in the sketch. And again, we have Three of Pentacles as what you should do with it. So again, share. 3 is about a cooperation. So you may teach someone how to be prosperous and abundant. You may co-create something that goes beyond your own skill and your own knowledge. That's 3 of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn, which is a very effective energy. So use your effectiveness very wisely in spring, because you may create something of great value, I feel. Great cards, really great cards as far as material side of your life is concerned. Then we have kind of repetition here in summer. Again, King of Pentacles. So someone who has much and is responsible for it and is really ready to create even more and to guide others how to do that. And as a general vibration, you have 8 of Wands. So there is swiftness here. There is perhaps lots of communication, lots of travel. Some things are finally falling into place. Perhaps you were waiting for something to begin, for a right time to do that. Now is the time for quick action. And you will do it in order to preserve or create even more abundance in your life. Great cards. And then we have continuation in autumn, because I have Knight of Pentacles together with 8 of Cups. So we have 2 8s. There's swiftness here, and then in autumn we have leaving something behind. So you may come to a conclusion of some kind that something that you were putting lots of effort to no longer serves you, and you're leaving it. There is kind of mess here on this picture. You can see that there are projects that are started but abandoned, and there's this great urge here to abandon things that don't work for you anymore. But remember, not only to abandon it, because it will release lots of energy and lots of free space for you. Remember to be prudent about it. Don't just let it lay, and don't let it be left barren. Make a plan. What to do with this newly acquired free time, free space. And again, do something creative, especially on material side of life. Something that is palpable, something that you may count, something that you can make with your own hands is invited here, I think. All right. And now for separate areas of your life. First we have work, career, money. And the cards are repeating in a way. I think you go out of some kind of impasse in your financial life or in your work life. First two cards, the Hangman and Four of Pentacles. With Four of Pentacles, we are safe and secure, but we are not really evolving in any way. There is no progress here. So you may have found yourself in a state where there is no progress, you cannot do anything. Look at this guy, he won't move, because if he were to move, he would need to let those coins alone, and he's not able to do that. He's not ready to release material wealth out of him. So you may felt like this, just hanged and not able to do anything with your hands tied behind your back. But I think there is this feeling of insight here. You can see this guy has this golden ring around his head. He's seeing something he wasn't able to see before, and that's why there is change. Eight of Cups, leaving something behind, something that doesn't work for you anymore. It doesn't work for you anymore. This sitting here in a safe place and doing nothing. You need to move towards something that fulfills your heart. And you will. And you will. And that's why this material side of your life is so great this year. If we talk about feelings and emotions and relationships, I think it's quite difficult here. You may feel disappointed at the end because you are waiting for something, but you don't know really for what. There's this emptiness here, some kind of a void, I think. Seven of Pentacles. Yes, you evaluate, you hope it will grow. You're waiting for your fruits, for fruits of your labor to be ready, but it's not in sight. You cannot see it really. You may feel that perhaps maybe one day something will happen, but it doesn't, because you have Four of Cups as a final card. So it shows that there may be a stagnation in your emotional life this year, that you may feel disappointed with something. Perhaps you are full already, but it doesn't bring satisfaction anymore. It's not what you want. You need movement here. But it's not present here, and I don't think you're ready to move right now. Perhaps you need this period of calmness and stability, or even stagnation, in order to ripe for something else. Yeah, and the next card is Seven of Rods. So I don't think it will change this year. This year is needed for you to feel this. That, yeah, I'm in a place of safety, I'm in a place of stability, but that's not what I want. It's still not what I want. And finally, for your spirituality, we have Six of Swords, Four of Pentacles again, and Seven of Pentacles again. So I feel there is a feeling of being stuck here. That you may ponder about things. You may not be able to really move forward. Perhaps you are after some difficult experiences in your life. Six of Swords may indicate that you arrived at the place where you finally feel safe and not haunted anymore. And you may need to rest. And it's dear to you. And that's why Four of Pentacles appear. That's a place where you can build your strength, your power, set your boundaries. But again, always with Four of Pentacles, this is a shelter. Be careful for the shelter not to turn into your grave. That's always the case with Four of Pentacles. It's not the energy to last forever. You need to outgrow it. But Seven of Pentacles indicates that it's not ready yet in yourself. You still evaluate, you still look what's working for me and what's not. What are the roots of my success? Okay? Evaluation is present here. And perhaps you need time to evaluate. Perhaps that's a good place to evaluate and to really ponder about things. So there isn't great change here. in your spirituality. There's slow growth, I think. Very, very slow growth that may seem like a stagnation. But that's nothing wrong in it. So, overall, a very successful year in terms of your money, work, wealth, abundance, etc., etc. I have 2 additional cards for you. And you have Guardian and Angel that reminds you that you are never alone. So also remember about it when you feel the urge to be someone more than only yourself, to be the Earth Keeper and to be more responsible for the greater good, not only of your own, but also of other people and the Earth itself. You are not alone. So if something seems bigger than you, and you think that you cannot cope with it, remember that you are not alone, that you always have your guardian angel, and that when you let go of a difficult thing, the process may start to develop itself without your great effort, if you trust. So be full of trust. And I also have duality as for what heals you. Well, what heals you is not putting labels on things. Let me read it for you. This is the final card. Black and white, good and evil, yes and no, up and down, and want, don't want. These are all examples of dualistic thinking. What if you banned these labels from your thoughts for a day? What will happen? Would the world end? Doubtful. Would some person get away with something? No. Would you attach less emotion to a bad situation or drama? Possibly. If that happened and there was less attachment to a situation, you could keep your vibrations higher, which would enable you to deal more successfully with any situation that comes your way. Given enough time, most bad situations work out in the end. It is your choice to be drama-free or spend a lot of time and energy wasted on a situation that will turn out okay in the end. What do you choose? It's up to you. The choice is yours, even if it's a difficult choice. It's always yours. And you are able and capable of making choices, dear Gemini. Although I know that your sign is very much about duality, right? So that's why duality is the theme here. How to see beyond duality, really, and to see oneness. I think that's the greatest theme of the year for you. To see oneness in things that seem dual. I wish it's going to be a great adventure to you, not only intellectually. I wish you a wonderful year. Please be healthy. Please be happy. All the best for you, Gemini. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.